In the grand tapestry of football, few threads are as golden, as vibrant, as utterly electric as the one woven by Kylian Mbappe. We know the highlights. We've seen the speed. But to truly understand the shock, the awe, the sheer brilliance, you must not just see the goal, you must feel the moment. You must remember the doubt, the pressure, the promise. This is not a list. This is a story. The story of goals that didn't just win games, they shook the world. Our story begins not with a roar, but with a whisper. A cold February night in Monaco. The year is 2016. A gangly 17-year-old, barely old enough to drive, is on the pitch for his Monaco. The game is already decided, 3-1. The crowd is preparing to go home. No one expects a miracle. And then, it happens. Bernardo Silva, with a flick of his boot, sends a pass into the box. It's not a moment of blistering pace or audacious skill. It's something far more important. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated instinct. The ball arrives at the feet of this young kid. He takes a touch, turns with the grace of a seasoned veteran, and with an almost casual, clinical swipe of his right foot, he tucks it into the back of the net. The crowd cheers, but they don't yet know what they've witnessed. This wasn't just a goal. This was the first brick in an empire. Fast forward 2 years, and the whisper has become a thunderous roar. The biggest stage in football, the World Cup. The round of 16. France versus Argentina. Two footballing titans. The match is a seesaw of emotions, 2-2 in the second half. And then, the world stops. The ball is loose in the box. It's a scramble. It deflects off an Argentine defender and falls directly into the path of Kylian Mbappe. But this isn't the calm, composed finisher we saw as a teenager. This is a man on a mission. He takes a touch, and with a feint of his hips, he creates a sliver of space. The Argentine defense, a wall of famous names, is suddenly a disoriented mess. And with a single, brutal, low strike, he threads the needle, the ball thundering past the goalkeeper and into the net. It was a goal born not just of talent, but of sheer will. But the story doesn't end there. Just minutes later, France is on the counter. Olivier Giroud, with a clever little flick, sends a pass into open space. It's an invitation. And Mbappe accepts. He's not running, he's flying. He leaves defenders behind like they're standing still, his legs a blur of motion. As he races towards the goal, his mind is already a step ahead. There is no panic. No hesitation. With the elegance of Thierry Henry and the raw power of Ronaldo, he opens up his body and curls a shot into the far corner, kissing the post on its way in. It was a goal that didn't just win the game. It was the moment he told the world he was a superstar. He had arrived. And the world had no choice but to bow down. There are moments that feel destined. For years, the legend of Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid had been whispered about. The transfer saga, the unrequited love, the inevitable coronation. And in the 2022 Champions League, the planets aligned. PSG versus Real Madrid. Last 16. The game is tied, moments from a stalemate. And then, from deep on the left wing, Mbappe receives a pass. The Madrid defense is organized, disciplined. There is no space. He's surrounded. A lesser player would have passed. A normal player would have taken a shot. But Mbappe is neither. He's a storyteller. He takes on his defender, a feint to the left, a burst to the right. The defender is bamboozled, left on his knees. Now he's in the box, one-on-one with the legendary Éder Militao. He fakes a pass, a half step, a little shimmy. Militao shifts his weight, just a fraction. That's all Mbappe needs. In that split second, he opens his body and with the kind of ice-cold composure you see in movie heroes, he calmly slots the ball through the goalkeeper's legs. The stadium erupts. It wasn't just a goal against the team he was destined to join. It was a goal that proved his worth. He didn't just beat them, he sent them a message. He was coming. And he was unstoppable. These are just a few chapters in the epic. The powerful header against the World Cup final. The cheeky chips. The blistering volleys. The impossible angles. Each one a testament to a talent forged not just in skill, but in daring. A story told not in words, but in goals. And so, the legend continues. The throne is waiting, the crown is polished, but for now, Kylian Mbappe continues to write his history, one breathtaking, world-shocking goal at a time. And so, the legend continues, but the path to a future throne was paved with battles against other giants. Two performances, in particular, solidified his reputation not just as a player of generational talent, but as a conqueror of the elite. The first was a cold night in Barcelona, February 2021. The Champions League round of 16. The world was watching a clash between the fading empire of Barcelona, still led by the incomparable Lionel Messi, and the ambitious, rising power of Paris Saint-Germain. This was supposed to be a duel of titans. What it became was a coronation. Messi scored first, a penalty to a deafening roar, and a flicker of the old magic seemed to return. But Mbappe, from the other end of the pitch, watched with a quiet hunger. His first goal was a testament to his sheer unpredictability. A quick exchange of passes found him inside the box, a swarm of defenders around him. The ball seemed to get caught in the chaos, but he reacted with a cat-like quickness, swiveling and blasting a shot into the roof of the net. The equalizer. It was a physical, almost brutal strike that announced his arrival, not as a guest on this stage, but as its new landlord. He had just set foot on Messi's turf and already left his first, unerasable mark. His second was a story of pure positioning and a predatory instinct. A cross came in from the right, and Mbappe found himself perfectly placed in the heart of the box. He didn't race to the ball. He let the chaos unfold around him, then swept in with perfect timing to send a composed, low shot past the outstretched arms of the goalkeeper. It was a goal of such elegant simplicity that it almost felt unfair. It was the goal of a player who had already solved the defensive puzzle before the pieces were even in place. But it was his third that truly sealed the night, that truly spoke of a new era. The game was won, but the statement had to be made. In the dying minutes, a counterattack sprung to life. Mbappe, in open space, received the ball. He didn't rush. He didn't sprint mindlessly. He surveyed his options, then curled a first-time shot from the edge of the box. It wasn't a thunderbolt. It was a scalpel. The ball flew with a beautiful, controlled arc, past the helpless goalkeeper, and nestled perfectly into the top corner of the net. It was a goal of breathtaking artistry, the kind that whispers of a master at work. It wasn't just a hat-trick, it was the symbolic passing of the torch, a signal that this was now his stage to command. Then came the battle against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, a team that had built its identity around flawless system and control. In the Champions League semi-final, they were the favorites, the well-oiled machine. But a machine has no heart, no audacity. Mbappe possessed both. He hadn't scored in the first leg, but in the second, he exploded. His first was a ghost's goal, a quiet moment of brilliance. The ball was fed to him, and in an instant, with a feint and a burst, he slipped between two defenders and was gone. The defense, caught off guard, could only watch as he was suddenly through on goal. He lifted the ball with a beautiful touch, and a moment later, it was in the back of the net. The simplicity of the